Come if you're on
See,
Facebook.
everybody's saying on Facebook, I'm telling you. But,
I need to friend you so I can get it posted online.
Scoot in there, Todd, so we can see you.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, both of us.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Why are they tearing down?
Okay.
Because I do remember that it used to be awful.
The city,
And I did deal with your mom personally.
and I appreciate that. What has happened is that my mom passed away a year and a half ago, and we just didn't have the people that were able to get anything together to get the grant money so that we could get it going. We had the deed. In fact, it's mom's getting the deed from the DISD was like groundbreaking, and so other
Right, because the property did belong to DISD.
yeah, and so what has happened is that other I'm going to go ahead and go into this part. Other historical commissions are using this as their blueprint to get the deeds from other school districts so that they can have the deed, and then that way they can get the grant money. We have new people in. That's the main thing, is we have new people in. We've got a lot of fresh energy and fresh ideas and grant money that's kind of waiting there if we have that deed so that we can restore the building.
So
it
that's
won't be an
why
eyesore.
none of the work, because that's the big question
Right.
everybody has is
Why hadn't it already been done?
I'm speaking just to be frank about it. I remember coming when I brought my daughter
Sure.
to school here. It's really hard to get in and out of the school
Right.
safely, especially with all the kids that are getting in and out. So I can sympathize with the parents,
wanting
but I can also, for just the maneuvering space. But I
Yeah,
can
but that's,
also,
what is that, 5 minutes a day?
I agree.
So,
But I can sympathize with you because I deal with your mom.
Absolutely.
Really much. She had a big
Yeah.
passion for it.
Right.
To save the building, she had testing done that I remember.
Absolutely.
To test the building, make sure it was sound. So it is a sound building.
And it's still a sound building
So
because
the
the
building
engineer
just needs to be.
needs that cosmetics. The cosmetics need to be fixed, the window lights, and then also the flooring
because
inside.
that's kind of been the whole process over the past that I remember 7
Right.
years.
Okay, so there were some things done. There's been Boy Scout projects. We dried it in. We got some of the flooding stopped through one of the Eagle Scout projects. And they were concentrating the last 2 years on the pictorial history of Seagoville. And that's where their time and energy, and they spent a lot of time, and I do have that book, and it's for sale. You can go on brokenbowranch.net to purchase that. Go to Seagoville Historical Commission. There's a little link there.
Well, it's kind of been
But-
my understanding that a lot of with the town of Seagoville right here, there's a lot of grant money and things that's available through the EDS board that's been going into working on, and they're supposed to be
Yeah.
restoring this area, and even maybe
Some
in the
of those
future,
things.
possibly I've heard even plans of in the future maybe even moving City Hall
Right, back
over
into
it back
those,
here to bring it back here.
bring
So
people back in.
So y'all, so the whole goal here is y'all want to make this into a historical.
It could be the hub. I'd like to see this used as office buildings and for reunions and a meeting place for the city, for weddings, those types of things. And the thing about the parking, first of all, if this is Seagoville Historical Commission, it's not our fault that DISD did not plan their parking better or for the ingress and egress. The other thing is there's plenty of space behind this building that they are able to go out onto Malloy Bridge with a little bit of.
I know a lot of these spaces here are taken up by teachers and so forth.
Right. So I'm sorry, but that's not my fault.
So maybe a solution to the parking problem would be to get the teachers and so forth to park in the back
Park
side
in
of
the
the
back,
building
yes.
and leave this more accessible for the
Exactly.
parents here.
Exactly.
So well,
use
then
that
tell us what if y'all if y'all do get the grant to restore the building and y'all do get the restore the building, what is it that you're
What do we
going to
wanna
do
use
to
it?
what are you going to use the building for? What kind of funds do you have available? What do you need to do to help raise some funds? I mean, you need to set up
Okay.
an auction, sit down here in front of the dozers and ask people to come out and don't buy shit.
What I would like to see when we get it restored, it'll be office building space. It'll be space for nonprofit if somebody needs an incubator or a place to office while they're getting their business off the ground. I'd like to see the Seagoville Economic Development Commission come in here and office here instead of out there on the highway because they're just leasing. So they could be using that money here. That would be part of the income.
Have y'all spoke to the economic development?
Yes, we have. Yes, absolutely. And I've got very, very positive. All I need is the deed and agreements from Dallas Size Deed.
So you got Economic Development Center on your side. Becky's
a lot of
helping.
them are, yes, Becky's helping us. There's a lot of them behind. We're also on the National Registry of Historical Places.
Right.
And because of that, we do have quite a bit of grant money available to us. And now that we have grant writers and the interest, then that should work. The way you can help us is to go on causes, and it's Save Our School, and I can give you a link to that, and you click donate, and that money will go directly to Carol Franks, not to anybody else, who is very dependable. She's been our treasurer for a long time, and that money will be held, and when we get the deed, we'll be able to use that money to
So we're
get
waiting
more
on
things.
the deed for the land.
Yes.
How come now? Over all these years, that's where my confusion comes in. Over all these years, this for the city has been hands off. And I mean, speaking of, I work for the city directly, and anytime this came up, this was hands off. Other than keeping it within code compliance is what we had to make sure that was done. But how come now? And that's why I'm confused at now. How is it that y'all lost that protection to where till before this couldn't happen, and now
DISD,
all of a sudden they're in here?
City of Seagoville, instead of coming to me or to somebody on the commission, wrote a letter to DISD and said, if you don't do something with that building, we're going to tear it down and send you the bill.
If y'all want to go watch it.
And send the bill to them. And that's when,
We're on the news.
that was back in probably July or August.
So the city's using the city's paying to have it tore down?
No, they're saying we can't afford to have it torn down, but if you don't, we feel like it's a hazard. They told DISD you need to tear it down, and if you don't, we're going to
What
give
kind
you
of
the bill.
time frame are you looking to? You're asking for the city or for DISD to give you a time frame to do the repairs to the building. What kind of time frame are you asking for?
I think that we can get it where it's not an eyesore and where you're able to walk on the floors and everything in 120 days.
And how much do you think? How much time do you think you need to have before you would have it done turnkey to where it would be used for weddings or whatever, to where it would be completely refinished?
I would say a year, just because.
Within a year's time.
What can we do to raise the money to restore?
You can go on Save Our Schools. If you're on Facebook, you can go to Save Our Schools. It's a cause, and you can donate right there, and it will go to Carol Franks, and it's very secure. Or you can send it directly to Seagoville State Bank
What
in
can we
care
do
of
to
the
help,
Seagoville
raise,
Historical
you know what I mean,
Commission.
to help raise money and raise awareness?
More Facebook. Tell everybody we're going to be on the news, and bombard Dr. Hinojosa and Dave Patton at Dallas Independent School District. Bombard them, and talk to Nancy Bingham, the school board member.
You figure the city would want to do something with it? That's history.
Hey, come here and tell. I want to hear how you feel. You seem upset about it.
It's
We're gonna
history.
post this. I've
My
got a lot of
daddy
people that's
went
gonna see
there.
it.
Come on, Miss Ma'am.
Yeah.
My daddy went there. I went there. My kids went there. That's part of history. Like they put out that new historical
Come over
magazine
here so I can get the
a
building
couple
behind
months ago. In that magazine, there's all kinds of pictures on the school. You know, in front of the school.
Come over here so you can get the
That's
building behind
that's
her.
part of history.
So did you go to school here? You
Yes,
said?
I went to school here.
And more of your family?
Yeah, my daddy went here. Had aunts and uncles that went here. My kids went here. Everybody went here. Yeah, my daddy's pocket knives wedged in one of the
Did you go to school here too?
floorboards. Yes, she went to school here
She
too.
said I did in elementary school. I don't want to.
Yeah, you went to kindergarten here.
Get over here and talk.
You went to kindergarten here.
It's a Facebook.
Yeah, we're gonna post it. Well, YouTube too. We got.
That's part of history. That's part of our history.
Save our school.
You know, Seagoville
They need to
don't have
save it.
nowhere
They don't need
go.
to just tear it
Seagoville-
down.
Where's the Seagoville's museum? Where's their
You know, a lot of the
history?
parents
You know,
aren't
that-
behind
that
it
if you
because
look
they
at
want it
this
torn
side of
down to
town,
make more
you
parking
can look
for
at
the
that
school.
side of town. They need to put more money back in this side of town.
Well, maybe what we need more is maybe we need more.
You need more awareness around town. Nobody knows
If
about
there was
Well,
signs
maybe
or
what we
something
need more
to get
is more of a
awareness.
community, not such
Get
a
some of
block
these fat
between
cats
City
to
Hall
unleash a
and
little money.
the community. And
Throw a
I think
block
that
party.
If the community, if
We
the
used to
Seagoville
throw them up
community
here.
would pull together,
I remember when I was little going to the street parties up here to try to raise
Throw
money
a street
for
party
things.
to raise money for
They
it.
block off that whole part of Hall Street, right up there. They used to have street dances, barbecues,
Well,
all
what
that
about
kind of
talking
stuff.
to Phil Greenwald? Have y'all talked to Phil Greenwald at the chamber and ask and see if he could help?
That's
You
what
know,
we stopped for to see what we could do to help.
well, that's what we're trying to figure out now.
But I mean, if you do a good job,
What'd you say?
I didn't know he was still alive.
You can call over there and nobody will
do you remember the street dances and all
Yeah.
that?
Behind the Seagoville State Bank and all
turn it
that. We used to have pumper races out